Hey guys, I'm back. Here's a Wednesday number 1 or number 11. So the first one in the Wednesday column. Right now we have an inequality because of this sign right here. This sign says that negative 12 is greater than or equal to negative 3 times z minus 2. Now I put a line through my z because my z's tend to look a lot like 2's. So here's a z and here's a 2 before we get started. Now, the first thing I need to do is I need to distribute. Okay? So when I distribute, sorry, you can't really see my signs there. I have negative 3 times z. Negative times a positive means it stays a positive, or it stays a negative, excuse me. And then I have negative 3 times negative 2. A negative times a negative equals a positive. So 3 times 2 is 6, and it's positive because it was a negative times a negative. My sign stays the same still because I haven't changed anything. Now, the next thing I want to do is get like terms here on the same sides. I want to get z all by itself. So I have to do the inverse operation right here. So I'm going to subtract negative 6, which we have done all year long. Cancels out. Negative 12 plus negative 6. They're on the same team. So there'll be a negative when you put them together. Negative 18. Sign still stays the same. Equals negative 3z. My next step is to get z all by itself, the last step here. Right now I have negative 3 times z, so I want to divide the inverse by negative 3, divide by negative 3. Now, these cancel, this stays the same, but what happens to your sign? I divided by a negative, so my sign has to flip. Remember, when you divide by a negative, your sign flips. Negative 18 divided by negative 3 is going to give you a positive number. And negative 18 divided by negative 3 gives you 6. So the answer is 6 is less than or equal to z. But you might want to write it this way because when you go to graph it in 8th grade, or when you say it, you have to say z is greater than or equal to z, or 6. It's easier to say this way because when you read it this way, you read it backwards or you graph it backwards, okay? So you can write it either way, but this is probably the better way.